Hey, what's up guys, my name is Charlie. Today we're going to be reacting to some more Nostalgia Critic, and it's going to be the top 11 Batman animated series episodes. Oh boy, this is going to be totally awesome because I do enjoy a bit of Batman animated series. Now, I believe I've watched the first season, which was about 50 episodes from what I remember. But I never watched season 2 or season 3. I think it was like a season 4. But yeah, I've only watched the first season because these aren't really easy to obtain. They're not on Netflix, they're not on Amazon Prime, they're not on any sort of streaming service that I know. You have to buy the physical DVD or the VHS. So yeah, they're a little bit difficult to obtain. But let's see what Nostalgia Critic has to say about this, shall we? Let's go.
Hello, I'm Batman. I remember it because I'm Batman.
Yep,
Today,
because you're Batman.
we're gonna look at one of the greatest animated shows that ever hit television. Batman, the animated series.
Yeah,
By
that's
the
true.
way,
It was
we're
really good.
more than 108. Okay, I'm sorry. I can't do Keaton very well. Let's try Christian Bale.
Christian Bale.
This cartoon just showed you that it's full of people ready to believe in good. Okay, that's not gonna work. Let's try Val Kilmer. I'll get drive-through. Okay, it's definitely not gonna happen. Let's try George Clooney. Hi, I'm George Clooney. Okay, fine.
Yeah,
I'm just
George
doing as myself.
Okay. Alright.
Yes, I've gone on record several times saying that Batman the Animated Series is the best nostalgic show ever, as
Yeah.
well as one of the
I
best
enjoyed it.
cartoons of all
First
time.
season was very
It
good.
was dark, it was tragic, it was funny, it was goofy, it was serious. It had something for everybody.
Yeah.
But which episodes were the absolute best? Which ones left the greatest impact?
Can't
on
remember
us, whether it be action-packed
specific
or dramatically
episodes,
heartbreaking?
but
There's a lot to choose from, and I promise I'll try to keep my spoilers to a minimum. Oh, except maybe this one. Batman and Robin sucks!
oh
The
boy.
downside is
I kind of
I'm
like that
not
movie. I'm
happy.
sorry.
Oh, wait a
It's my
minute.
guilty
Kevin
pleasure.
Conroy. That's fitting. Hold on, let me just take
The
some
back
testosterone
credit card.
pills here. Whoa, my testicles just hit the floor. This is the top 11 best Batman animated series episodes.
Okay.
I don't wear hockey pads.
Hockey pads. I think that's from the movie Batman. Oh boy. I love what he did there, the Nostalgia Critic face
Number
off.
11.
Number 11.
Beware of the Grey Ghost.
Beware of the Grey
Though a
Ghost.
good
Okay.
episode, a lot of it holds up particularly well because of the celebrity voice they use.
See if
But
I
I'll get to
remember
that in
all
a
these
second.
episodes.
The
It was a
episode
long
centers
time
around
since
an
I
old
watched
TV
these.
show called The Grey Ghost that Bruce Wayne used to watch as a kid. Years later, it turns out some psycho is imitating one of the villains from the show. And since all the episodes were destroyed, Batman goes to the star himself, the Grey Ghost, for help.
I'm just an actor. The Grey Ghost was a part I played.
The bombings in Gotham are exactly like an episode of The Grey Ghost. I need you to remember how it was done.
It's a good episode
voice acting
because
is
it's
really
a decent
good.
mystery. It's neat to see Bruce Wayne's inspiration as well as actually some happy flashbacks to his childhood. And it also shows the dramatic downside to both having and losing fame. Although I will admit, it's a little weird to see Batman actually go fanboy for somebody. I mean, when you're a kid, it's one thing, but the idea of Batman, the Dark Knight, having a little shrine in his Batcave
Yeah.
dedicated to a TV show? Jesus, Batman, you're a dork!
Well, I'm guessing he
As a
didn't really
kid,
have a
I
childhood
used to
much
watch
because
it
his
with my father.
father and mother
Grey
were
Ghost
murdered
is
in
my
front of
hero.
him, so...
Now, give
So,
me a lock of your
it makes
hair.
sense
I'm
that-
totally gonna smell it every night.
yeah, that's creepy, okay.
But what really
But it
makes
makes
the episode
sense.
stand out is who they got to
You know,
play the Grey Ghost.
He never
None
experienced
other
his
than the original
childhood
TV
much.
Batman
You
himself,
know, you have to
Adam
grow up
West.
fast.
Like you said, you need my help.
Rather than just make a funny little joke that two Batmans are in the same
He looks
show,
like
they
the
actually
guy from
demonstrate
Time
a lot of
Splitters,
dignity
doesn't he?
in having these
Sort
two
of
together.
Time
They
Splits guy
cleverly
with the
mirror
goggles,
some of the
or
realities
Riddick
that really did go on
sort
with
of
the original
style.
Batman shows, but never to a point where it's insulting or it's satirical.
I used to admire what the Grey Ghost stood for.
I'm not the Grey Ghost.
I can see that now.
There was a real respect to this team-up, and it shows in just how
Hmm.
much effort the writers and directors put into it. We became passionate about the episode because they became passionate about the episode. Two Batmans for the price of one. What's not to like?
Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
It's sometimes you can't get rid of them. Oh, the Nostalgia Critic
Number 10.
space. 10. Nostalgia
The
Critic.
Man Who Killed Batman.
The man who
This
killed
one gets
Batman,
overlooked
okay.
a lot, but it really is a gem. A little twerp named the Squid wants to make a name for himself as a big-time gangster. But nobody wants him because he's a timid little screw-up.
Why did you bring along that loser? He's useless.
Not as bait for Batman. He'll be too busy kicking the crud out of Sid to notice us.
But it turns out he stumbles upon a bit of luck when he accidentally knocks Batman off a cliff and apparently kills him.
Damn.
He came right at me. I was just trying to get away and he went over the side.
Sid the Squid just off the Batman.
Suddenly, he's the most notorious criminal in town. Everybody is in awe of his accomplishment.
Suddenly I'm thinking, if I take down the guy who took down Batman, then I'll be the toughest guy in town.
Hey, you got my vote, Chief.
But again, with that fame comes a price. People start to challenge him to fights, others try to murder him. Even the Joker seems mighty pissed off that there's no more fun to be had with the mythical Dark Knight.
There's a certain rhythm to these things. I cause trouble, he shows up.
Yep,
We have
it's a
some laughs,
yin and
the
yang
game starts all over
experience.
again.
There needs to be a
Without
balance.
Batman, crime has no punchline.
There's an especially funny scene where the
Kick me.
Joker actually throws a funeral for Batman, and of course it's totally keeping in character.
It's time to look ahead to a future filled with smiles. Just as soon as we take that man there and slap him in that box there and roll it into that vat of acid there.
For the
Damn.
record, Harley's kazoo playing is nowhere near as good as Paul's kazoo playing.
The
It's a
American
classic case of a person who
bagpipes
wanted
on
fame and
that
attention,
middle flute.
but wasn't ready for the pain and responsibility
And
that
that
came with it.
Hazuki thing.
No one's that lucky or stupid.
Yes, I am.
The story is great, the scenes with the Joker are hilarious, and actor Matt Frewer as the Squid really makes a perfect comic foil.
Oh. Sorry about the leather.
It's a perfectly told tale of what happens when too much recognition comes to the wrong person at the wrong time.
Guess I can't win for losing, huh?
The face every time.
Number 9.
But that cracks me up every time I've seen Nostalgia
Mad
Kid's face
Love.
plastered over Batman.
One of the show's
Mad
crowning
Love.
achievements was the creation of Harley Quinn, who
Harley
has since
Quinn.
become many people's favorite Batman character.
Yeah,
We've
she's
never
quite
actually
popular, ain't
known
she?
her history. They've hinted at it
She's
before,
great in the
dropped
games,
clues here and there,
the
but
Batman
they've never given
games.
us the straight up details about how she ended
Batman
up with the Joker.
Asylum and stuff.
Well, this is the episode that sets it all straight.
Hmm.
It turns out Harley was an intern at Arkham Asylum and was looking to cash in on one of the high-profile criminals to write a tell-all book about.
You can't deny there's an element of glamour to these super criminals.
I'll warn you right now. These are hardcore psychotics. If you're thinking about cashing in on them,
Yo,
think
why is he
again.
licking in the mirror?
But when she started interviewing the Joker, he played to her
Licking the
weaknesses, and
glass.
his mind game slowly started to sink in. And just like the Dark Knight, we have no idea if his past story is the real one or a false one.
My father used to beat me up pretty badly. Every time I got out of line.
Reminds me of Suicide
Night.
Squad.
He goes off crazier than usual.
Oh, there we go. He
It's also the
fledges.
first time we get a
Sort of.
very strong indicator that the Joker and Harley have, well, made whoopee cushion.
Oh yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
I
it was
remember this
hinted at
where
before, but this scene pretty much cements
he
that
needed a
they've
bit
been
of
together.
loving from the
Don't you wanna
Joker,
rev
but
up your
then the
Harley?
Joker starts getting a bit.
Because of that, we see in
Yeah.
more detail just how violent
It's
the relationship
abusive.
is between the two of them. And how the Joker is and always has used her as just a
Women
means
have
to
needs, man.
You've forgotten
You
what
gotta
I told
fulfill
you
those
a long
needs,
time
Joker.
ago. You always take shots from folks who just don't get the joke.
Damn, that is
Don't
so
call me
fucking
pudding.
abusive.
It's actually a pretty tragic look
Yeah.
at abusive relationships in general.
Yeah.
No matter just how tormenting
I've
one
went
can be
in
to
depth
another,
with
there's always
Harley's
something that
Quinn and the
keeps other
Joker's
coming back for more. Yeah,
relationship.
there's quite a bit of fan service, and I don't know why the Joker looks
really
like
is
Mickey
sad.
Mouse, but it's still a solid episode that finally fills us in with all the questions we had about our favorite henchwoman, and it didn't disappoint with the answers.
My fault. I didn't get the joke.
Oh, I feel so sorry for her.
Number 8.
Number 8.
Birds of a Feather. This is another one that's often overlooked. The Penguin, who's considered one of the more sophisticated of the criminals, decides he wants to change his way and become a civilized bird once he makes parole. And he means it. He actually starts to change his ways and tries to blend in as an average citizen. He
He was
finds,
in the
though, that
Batman
nobody's
movie,
waiting
the
for him
Batman
and
Penguin
nobody's
movie
happy
thingy.
for his return,
Can't remember what it was
especially
called,
Batman.
but I also remember he was in
Reformed.
Gotham,
Wherever you go, I'll be right behind you.
It
Gotham
turns
City
out
or
an
something like that.
extremely rich woman named Veronica wants to
That
date
TV
the
shows.
Penguin so she can make the headlines by inviting him to her party.
I've just snagged the penguin for my party.
Why?
for the entertainment, Dodo. Can't you just see their faces when that stuffed capon waddles in?
She's pretty much dating him as a joke, just a means to get attention from other rich people. She quickly finds, though, that he's not as charming as she thought, and, well, it's pretty fucking gross.
Yeah.
But the attention she's getting is far too much for her to pass up. While she's dating him mostly to make fun of him, the Penguin takes it very seriously, and even starts to fall in love with her. And after an incident where he saves her life, even she starts to see a little bit of good in him.
You know, it was quite touching, actually. It's not often that a man rushes to my rescue. Unfortunately, he wants to see me again.
But like all tragic tales, the truth is revealed at just the wrong moment, which causes the Penguin's heart to be broken and return back to his villainous ways. The episode is actually very similar to another one called Harley's Holiday, where Harley Quinn starts a new life for herself, finds it hard to fit in, and also tragically gets thrown back to her old ways. But this one takes its time a little bit more. It shows how involved the Penguin really got into the relationship, and how close he really was to turning over a new leaf. It's more detailed, it's more cruel, and therefore more sad. Not only does the Penguin almost truly reform himself, but Veronica almost does too. And if it didn't all spawn from such a cruel joke, maybe both these people could have turned out to be better.
I really was growing fond
Yeah,
of
it
you.
is an interesting
It's too
concept.
bad this had to happen.
I suppose it's true what they say. Society is to blame. High society.
It's a tale of what could have been and what
Yeah,
should be done.
it's a shame because if the Penguin and, you know, the girl got together, it could have changed him. You could have had a sort of couple of penguins with her, so to speak.
Number 7.
Raise a couple of Penguins. Number 7, let's see what it is.
Two-Face.
Two-Face.
Considered one of the most
Two-Face, of
depressing
course.
of the Batman villains, Harvey Two-Face Dent is a
I
criminal
wonder if
with
Puppet
a
Man's
deep
gonna
and
be on
complex
this.
backstory. He suffers from an extreme split personality,
Guy
which
that
causes him to
has
flip-flop
the
from a
puppet
kind,
with a gun,
intelligent
you know.
politician,
I remember that
so
character.
few, to a bloodthirsty monster who lunges out at random. He has bad dreams, hears the voice in his head, and at the worst case scenario, he actually becomes the other personality.
I would like to talk with Big Bad Harv.
I don't think he wants to talk.
Please try. Big Bad Harv?
Speaking.
What makes this character
That
so
is one
good in the show is that the
demonic
transformation
voice.
episode isn't the first time we see Harvey. They've actually established him several episodes before. He hangs out with Bruce Wayne, goes on dates, helps out the commissioner, so he was a completely set up character that we really got to like. So when this episode came out, it was a genuine shock to see the demons he was battling.
Yeah.
If anyone's leaving, it's Mr.
I think everyone can relate to this guy, you know, we all have a different side of us, get a bit angry and we gotta swallow it, so yeah, it's sort of an interesting sort of psychology,
Instead of
dive
acid
into the
being
mind
thrown
of
in his face, we have an
insanity, so to
explosion
speak.
that destroys half of his body.
Because
Seeing
I'm
this
interested in
character
that sort of
permanently
stuff, that
lose himself to the
diving
other
in into
personality is just gut-wrenching.
yeah,
Throw in a tragic
diving into
childhood, the fact that he
personality
had a
disorders and
fiancé,
stuff.
and on
It's
top of
fascinating
that, we
stuff
have the
for
guilt
me
that
anyway.
Batman feels for not being able to save his best friend. I mean, just look at some of these dream sequences.
Harvey, please, let me help you.
Why couldn't you save me?
Damn.
Why couldn't you save us, son?
Damn.
Jesus, man! Could you throw like a happy face in there or something?
Yeah. That is
Why
deep and
couldn't you save
dramatic.
us, son?
Yeah, Bradley, thank God. Relaxing.
The angles are great, the shadows are great, the animation is great, it's just a great episode.
Yeah.
Two-Face is just another addition to the Lost Souls that makes this show
Yeah.
so friggin' hardcore.
I love it. I love the psychology of it. Diving into the mind of a guy that's broken in two. It's interesting.
Number 6.
Number 6.
Over the Edge.
Over the Edge.
Now, with a title like that, you know some shit has to go down in this episode. And by God, it does.
Does it?
Get a load of this opening. It starts out with Batman and Robin being chased by Commissioner Gordon and his men trying to gun them down right after they arrest Alfred.
Damn.
And the award for best what the fuck opening goes to... that! I mean, holy fuck, that's one hell of a way to start out. But that's nothing. That's just the intro. Every holy shit moment you can imagine happens right after this. We find out in a flashback that because of a fight with the Scarecrow, Batgirl gets killed, smashes into her father's
Wow.
car, and Gordon then finds out that she was his daughter the whole time.
Wow.
Could you? I worked with you, trusted you.
Damn.
You never told me?
He quickly discovers who
Reminds me
Batman
of,
is, goes full force in taking him down.
Reminds you
Nightwing
of
is
the
taken
Batman
to jail.
game.
Robin is told to turn himself
Where
in. Gordon even makes a deal with
Batman
Bane
thinks
to
she's
go
dead
after Batman, knowing he'll show up to
from,
his daughter's funeral. Good fuckity hell!
Crow's
There's no
toxins
place to
poison.
run, Wayne. I want him alive. Alive to rot away in Arkham, surrounded by the monsters he's created.
How can anyone not like a setup like this? It's intense, it's action-packed, it's just awesome. Now the problem that most people have with this episode is the ending. And yeah, I'd be lying if I said I thought it wasn't a bit of a cop-out too. I don't know, maybe it's because we could all see it coming and I guess we sort of thought they'd throw a better twist on top of it, but it's not one of the stronger endings. Despite that though, the majority of the episode still holds up pretty strong, and it's still a great what-if story. It's dark, it's brooding, and the scenario is pretty extreme. And for those wondering how the ending could have been improved, join me over at pick number 5.
Okay. Number 5.
Perchance to Dream.
Perchance to Dream.
This is if the Over the Edge episode was fully realized, though taking sort of an opposite approach.
He looks a bit
Bruce
like
Wayne wakes up
Ash
one morning and
from
finds
the
that
Evil
everything in his life
Dead.
is actually
Ashy
changed for the
slashy.
best. His parents are alive, he's
Ashy
marrying the woman he
slashy.
loves, and there's even somebody else who's doing the job of Batman.
Selina, does the name Catwoman ring a bell?
Bruce, you're beginning to worry me. What's this all about?
He can't understand why, and even though everything is just how he's always wanted it, and even at one point starts to accept it, there's still a twinge of darkness that won't let him leave it alone.
No. You're a lie. It's all a lie.
Is it madness breaking
Does
through
it-
sanity, or
does it
sanity
matter?
breaking through madness?
Does it matter if they're
Knocking
alive?
back and
Be
forth in
happy
his
about
head
it.
Until it builds up to the ultimate showdown. Bruce Wayne versus his alter ego, Batman.
Damn, it's like fucking
Mr. Wayne.
Zelda, ain't it? The game Link where he fights himself.
Liar.
Where he
The way
fights
he
his
finds
shadow.
out that everything isn't as it seems is clever, but I don't know, I still
Damn.
sort of question it. Watch the episode
All
to see
the
what I'm
letters
talking
are
about.
jumbled up.
But still, that's not what makes it good, though. What makes it good is not
It's
only
like
his
dyslexia,
longing to
Jesus.
lead a normal life and his actual enjoyment of
So
it.
if you have like dyslexia
but
and all of
finding
the
out
words
just
are
who
jumbled.
is behind all this and how it's being kept going. In fact, if you listen to the musical theme, the answer is actually given to you very early on. Little touches like that are great, and it's nice to see what Bruce Wayne's life would have been like had it not been for that one tragic night. It builds up the sadness and brings on the darkness. It's a dream that could never be, and even harder to let go.
That face. Number 4.
Heart of Ice.
Heart of Ice.
Much like how the show created Harley Quinn, they also recreated Mr.
Mr.
Freeze,
Freeze.
giving him a very different and much darker backstory. Freeze in this version was originally a scientist, trying to find a cure for his deathly ill wife, who he has cryogenically
Oh
frozen.
boy, why do I have a feeling there's
Once he
gonna
goes
be
over
a
budget, though, his boss
Arnold
comes in to shut
reference
the
in this one?
experiment down, dooming his chances of ever seeing her again.
Nostalgia Critic is gonna put it in.
This is my equipment.
Like a pun or a quote.
Freeze tries to fight them off, but gets knocked into a bunch of various chemicals that do all those creative things that a bunch of various chemicals do. In this case, make it impossible for him to live without being at sub-zero temperatures.
It would move me to tears if I still had tears to shed.
Thus, that's where the free suit comes from, and that's where his cold outlook on the world originates.
I can only beg your forgiveness.
Damn.
And pray you hear me somehow.
It's kinda sad for Mr. Freeze, you know. He's just trying to rescue his girl,
The
so...
backstory was so good that now everybody...
These villains are not really bad, they're
Comics,
just
graphic
trying to
novels,
do
the TV shows,
what they can
even
to...
Joe Schumacher
Oh, there we go, Arnold, there we go. I knew it was gonna happen. I knew he was Nostalgia Critic was gonna...
Never leave a cave without it.
Don't tempt
Batman
me,
God.
please. The
I knew he was
image
gonna
that
add
so
that
creates
scene,
is always
because
memorable and often
you gotta. It's
The kind
Arnold.
of surreal imagery people love to use in Batman stories. And this is the episode that started it all. It made Freeze more than just a guy with a cool gun. It made him a Shakespearean tragedy. The music as well adds to the macabre wonder that the episode creates. The atmosphere in every respect is so
And I like
heavy that
Freeze
the
in
lines practically
the
write
Batman
themselves.
video game where you fight
Never
Mr.
again
Freeze.
walk on a summer's day with a hot
He's pretty
wind in your
badass.
face and a warm hand to hold. Oh yes, I'd kill for that.
A much better alternative than...
Freeze well!
that!
Come on, it was a decent movie. I enjoyed it. I'm afraid. It was the worst Batman movie, but come on.
trial.
It was a guilty
This
pleasure
episode
for me.
brings up something that a lot of Batman
I
fans have
enjoyed
brought
it.
up for a while. With criminals like the Joker,
That credit
Two-Face,
card.
and
Oh
Clayface,
fucking hell.
is Batman doing more harm than he is good?
It's hilarious.
Half the time it seems like he's almost created these villains. Does it turn out all along that Batman is actually the cause of the majority of misery in Gotham City? Well, all the famous villains get together to find out. They take over Arkham Asylum, capture Batman, and force
They're
the
on
new
strike.
district attorney to represent him. The only downside is... Wait, those were all downsides. The district attorney thinks Batman is just as guilty as the rest of them.
Not only does Batman create these so-called super criminals, he takes it upon himself to be their judge and jury with no regard for the legal system.
These are actually very good points.
Yeah.
Issues that have haunted what Batman, as well as what any other superhero does for a long time. With the Joker as judge and Two-Face as the prosecution, the biggest gathering of villains in the show's history come together
Then
to see
again,
if they've been
oh,
wronged
the
by
puppet
Batman's
man.
vigilantism.
Yeah, there we go. We had the guy with a puppet guy with a machine gun.
Claim that Batman drove
Yeah,
you to be a
I'm
criminal?
familiar with him.
You brainwashed
He's
him
rarely
after
shown,
he
isn't he?
rejected you.
He was going to take her away from me.
The
You
puppet
could
guy.
have respected her wishes.
I'd have killed her first!
It's a great episode not just for the issues it raises, but also for the fact that all of your favorite villains are in the same room.
and there's
And the
Scroto.
conclusion that the villains come to shows us once again why we love these villains and why they're so friggin' interesting to watch. It's a great idea, executed perfectly. The visuals are strong, the lighting is stylish, and it's just so awesome to see all your favorite baddies share the screen together.
Yeah.
It's also great to see the
Pretty
DA
decent.
go through her own story arc and come to her own unique conclusion while trying to juggle staying alive in a building of crazies. It's like a trial in Wonderland. You know, if it was done right. Trying to play to the sanity and order with a
I'm
world
guessing
that
he
has built
doesn't like the Alice in Wonderland with Johnny Depp. And I gotta say, I kind of understand, because I liked the first one, but the second one was bad. Number 2, Back in Time or something, where the fuck it was Alice in Wonderland
Many
2.
of you might remember my crossover review with CR on Familiar Faces with this episode, so you can probably get much more information about it there. But once again, it's an episode that is seriously overlooked. It's about an actress from a sitcom who has a rare disease that keeps her from growing taller.
Damn,
born
that's...
with systemic hypoplasia,
Whew,
a rare
that's
condition
tough.
that kept her from aging.
Would you believe
I know the feeling.
years old in that clip?
Crushed by the fact that her career never went anywhere, she becomes deranged and psychologically obsessed with getting the cast back together and staying
Could've
in
better
the
than
fictional
me.
sitcom world.
Mary Doll, is this a joke?
No, sillies. I'm baby, member. Together again forever and ever.
Well, this sounds like a funny scenario, and they do point out the silliness of it quite often. It still keeps us grounded in what's causing it. It addresses the pain that our villain is going through, both with the prejudices of being a little person and being a celebrity. Especially
Yeah,
an out-of-court
it's...
celebrity.
It
To a point
sucks
where you
looking
actually
young.
feel bad you were laughing at her in
You
her
can-
scenes. They also acknowledge that she made mistakes that isolated her from her friends, and that she feels there's no other place that'll accept her anymore except in her own demented imagination.
It was hard for me out there. I studied and trained and auditioned, but no one wanted me. Over the years, I remembered how happy I was with all of you around me, and the
Wow, it's kind of
folks at
sad
home
actually, isn't
watching
it?
you tweet me.
Wow, this is pretty...
Baby doll.
They
Understands
really
her
dive into what it means to
personality.
make mistakes, adjusting to them, and having to live with the changes in your identity. Like many great Batman villains, she comes off as being creepy, intimidating, and also kind of funny. But it's the third act that really becomes the emotional tearjerker. I won't give too much away here, but let's just say it's one of the most heartbreaking moments in the Batman series. And given the lineup that we've had on the show, that's saying a lot.
Why couldn't you just let me make believe?
Reminds me of Fallout 3.
Great episode,
You know that
great villain, and a
that
great ending.
little
It's easily among one of the best.
kids woman in that the holographic town. Can't remember what it was called.
And the number one best Batman the Animated
Number
Series
one.
episode is Almost Got Him.
Almost got him.
This is just a perfect episode. The setup, what can I say? It's incredible. The Joker, the Penguin, Two-Face, Poison Ivy, and Croc are all playing poker together. That image alone is fantastic. But it gets
Yep.
interesting when
It's
they
better
start
than the
betting on who's
pictures of
come
all
the
the dogs
closest
playing
to killing
poker.
off Batman.
I've come the closest.
Are you kidding? I was the one who nearly...
Nobody's come closer to snuffing the Batman than me.
The fact of the matter is we each have an almost gotten Batman story. I know mine's the best, but let's hear yours anyway.
So each one tells their tale about how they almost got it. The stories are creative, the action is strong, and the ways they've almost done him in actually are pretty damn entertaining. But it's the interaction off one another that really makes this one the best.
Half of me wants to strangle you.
And what does the other half want?
To hit you with a truck.
We used to date.
Ah.
It's not sad, it's not tragic, it's
Sounds
not even really that dark. It's just the villains chilling out being the villains.
Yeah, I like
You know
it.
what? That's pretty fucking cool.
Yeah.
Most people realize that the strength
I
of
guess the
Batman
villains are
comes
taking a
half
day
from
off.
him and half from his
Ooh, that
opponents.
robbing
So the
banks
more real
and
and
causing
identifiable they are,
pain
the
and
more
suffering
drawn
and
in
misery
we
upon everyone
This
is
is the episode
quite
where
taxing.
the villains seem the most human. They're not up to anything, they're not planning any evil schemes, they're just playing cards.
Yeah.
It's actually nice to see them just relax and be themselves. And the dialogues they have are just great, including one of the funniest moments in any of the shows.
Oh,
Anyone else want to go?
Hey! There I was, holed up in this quarry, when Batman came nosing around.
And?
I threw a rock at him.
okay. Yeah, oh boy. Oh boy.
It was a big rock.
It's also the first time the show had 5 of the major villains in one room. This would be upstaged later with the trial episode, but for the time, this was pretty friggin' awesome that we saw this. It's sort of like when all the villains got together in the Batman movie. It's just so cool to see them working off each other. The writing is great, the animation is great, the stories are great, and it even builds up to a bit of a twist at the end, to show that the episode actually did serve a purpose outside of just seeing the bad guys shoot the shit. But like I said, it's the interaction of the bad guys that makes it so perfect. The way they work off each other and even poke fun at each other's flaws.
Prepare to meet your end within my aviary of doom.
Aviary of what?
Yeesh, Pengers. How corny can you get?
It's just an awesome episode, and it makes these characters seem surprisingly much more three-dimensional than if there was an entire episode
Yeah,
dedicated
it's
to one of them. It's just
nice to
everybody
see a bit
doing
of a
what they
change
do
instead
and
of
doing it at their best.
them, you know,
It's an
trying to
absolutely
rob
perfect
banks and stuff.
episode.
Just chilling out playing cards. I kind of like it.
Almost got him.
Yeah,
And those are my top 11 Batman the Animated Series episodes,
Yeah,
one of
okay.
the greatest shows of all time. Now for those of you who didn't see your favorite episodes on the list, here's my runners-up. There you go.
Bite me.
I'm a nostalgic guy, remember?
Yeah,
So
that's
you don't
what
have
it. You can't please everybody. So, the end. Yeah, that's a good method. Bite me. That was the smart move because you can't please everybody. Oh boy.
It was a big rock.
It was a big rock. Oh boy. Yeah, that's the end of the video. That was top 11 Batman animated series episodes, and yeah, I've watched the first season. It was very enjoyable. I don't think they're on Netflix or Amazon Prime. If you want to watch these, you probably have to go and buy them on DVD or VHS tape. So it is a bit disappointing because they are a little of a tackle to track down and get. But yeah, unless there's some streaming service that I don't know where you can watch them, like I don't know, like an animated cartoon sort of network. Yeah, this is totally awesome. I enjoyed the first season. To be honest, I don't really remember much about them. It was a long time since I watched them, but I wish I watched them. I wish I had the entire, season 4. I think is there 4 seasons? I'm pretty sure there was 4 seasons. I'm pretty sure. Maybe there's 5 seasons, maybe there's 4 seasons. I don't know. But I remember there was about 4 seasons because I remember watching the first season and I wanted the other 3 seasons. Yeah, this was totally cool. I agree with Nostalgia Critic. These were pretty decent episodes. But if you like this video, make sure to give a like, comment down below, and make sure to subscribe to my channel if you enjoy my content. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.